Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. And with this video, I have a couple brand new Kantai collection KanColle figures that I got. And this is kind of like a mini update just to show off because these are all kinds of badass and exquisite. All the words, all the superlatives I would always use thoroughly applies to these figures. The first I got was a character who only shows up briefly, if my memory serves, in the KanColle anime, and that is Shouhou in her Kai form, which I believe we see, maybe it's episode 10, where she's being attacked by abyssals and she's on fire. She's pretty much, going down. But this is, of course, based on her 2015 Kai redesign, I think is what I read. I don't know what her design was before that, and but this is, of course, the box in 360 format and preview of the figure on the box, of course. And so I will be taking her out momentarily. And then, of course, we got who I consider to be the air quotes boss of all the girls, and a much sought after character that I wanted in figure form, and I was able to find this sucker for about 20 bucks. Now the reason why it was so cheap was because it's just the figure and a base. She doesn't come with all of the artillery, the weaponry and everything that is supposed to sort of attach to her back and all that kind of stuff, which I guess was either packed separately or you could get the figure without them at a cheaper rate. I don't know exactly, but this shocked me how big this frickin' box is. This is, of course, Nagato, and featured very prominently in the KanColle anime. Show the preview of the box 360 as well. Bigger preview right there of the sort of animated format. And I love her commanding stance, sending the girls out. And so we will be taking a look at both of these coming out of their boxes. We will start with, of course, Shouhou, and I have already opened these boxes, but just to kind of look at the figures. But I wanted to go ahead and show what you get and how exquisite they look. And of course, Shouhou comes in this weird sort of cardboard protector thing. She's like inside there, and her little bow fell out. But I remembered the name Shouhou when I saw the figure, and I couldn't remember where exactly she was in the show, or if we had actually seen her. She kind of has a design that, from right off the bat, you might be reminded of like a Kagi or Kaga with the bow and arrow situation, and she kind of reminded me of that, but I knew she was a different character altogether. I wasn't that novice, And so taking her out of the bubble wrap, and she too is wrapped in plastic as well. And there is a beautiful decorative base. I'm assuming that probably has her name and or the series name on it. But it was like, when I was looking up the character again to see where exactly she was in the anime, it was kind of heartbreaking to remember that, oh, they came upon her, Fubuki and all of them came upon her when she was pretty much destroyed and gone, And here is Shouhou in her Kai form. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. And very, it has a substantial weight to it as well. It's like resin and plastic, as most prize figures would be, and are, but there's a substantial weightiness to it. It's very, it feels more like a statue is what I'm getting at, which is very much kind of in line with, if you can see behind me here, we have Fubuki, Yudachi, and Mutsuki from the KanColle wave of SPM figures, which I forget exactly what that's an abbreviation for. Let me just look at the box real quick. It is super premium figures and animation sequence. Now this particular Shouhou does not have on the box the title animation sequence. So she's more based on the game incarnation, the Kai, as I say, which I believe was a 2015 update. And this is her, of course, without any accoutrements put in her hands and everything like that, which she does actually come with. If you look at the little sort of instruction sheet, which I don't know why you would need an instruction sheet just to, you know, put her in the base. Well, actually the bow comes with some plastic wiring. If you go back and check out my videos on Akagi and Kaga, the two figures I've gotten previously, I showed putting those together in a more figure showcase format with music and all of that. And I showed the process by which with their bows you had to attach sort of a you know, clear fishing line plastic. And but in this you get her particular bow with the little airplane, and you can't really see it that good, but there's a ream of plastic that will go in the bow. And of course, you know, some assembly required. That's something, if you grew up in the 80s with toys in the 80s, you know all well. And I'm not going to put her away before taking out Nagato, because I want to see if they fall in line size-wise, if they are similarly sized. Now, getting back to Nagato, of course, looking at the front of the box, it does say SPM, so they are part of the Super Premium line, but this one actually does say animation sequence. So this is based on the anime. And that's what the three figures behind me are, whereas the, Akagi and Kaga figures that I've shown previously, as well as Shimakaze and such like that. I mean, most of the other figures are strictly based on the character designs from the game, whereas these are specifically referencing the anime, designed on the anime, and taking, I guess, maybe poses that you might have seen in the anime. Now, taking Nagato out, she is in this big clamshell plastic bubble kind of thingy. And again, the box is humongous. Now, one reason when I got the figure and I saw the size of the box, I at first had assumed, well, maybe it actually did come with all the artillery and everything, and that's, you know, there's enough room where it could all fit in there, but I only paid 20 bucks for it, and I had assumed because the picture attached showed only the figure. I had assumed that I was only getting the figure for such a cheap price, and I'm not upset in the slightest. I don't need all the extra accoutrements. I just wanted a figure of this character of Nagato, and that's what I got. I got what I paid for. But it did misdirect me at first in thinking, oh, maybe there is artillery in there after all, because I took it out and it was kind of heavy, and this is another piece that is somewhat, you know, weighty. It has a weightiness to it, much like the Shouhou does. But we will take Nagato out very carefully. Now again, Nagato strictly comes with a giant, giant round black base. There doesn't seem to be any sort of writing or anything on it, and you will put her two peg holes off her feet into it. But this is the beautiful, beautiful Nagato, commanding her crew, sending them out. Go out with confidence is kind of the pose she's got, and of course the wide stance is one of the reasons why you get such a big box, apparently. But I love the faces, I love the detail on these figures, because they really do look like they just stepped out of the anime, as though, you know, you snapped your fingers and boom, they came right out of the show and became physical, a physical three-dimensional form, as like a statue. And again, this is plastic, it's resin, but it has a nice weightiness to it, where it feels more like a display piece, like a statue. It'd probably be a lot weightier if it was made out of some kind of heavier material, but it has a substantial weight, even though it is plastic. Now, let me, as I say, see what we're looking at size-wise, and this is perfect. It's pitch perfect. Based on, Shouhou's based on the game design, Nagato's based on the anime design, and yet they fit in perfectly. They are sized just perfectly. Now, I know in the anime some of the characters, they vary in sizes. You have smaller girls and everything like that. I think if you consider the three back here, They're all the same size, but I think, you know, arguably Fubuki and Mutsuki are a little bit shorter. They should be a little bit shorter than, say, a Nagato, who's a little bit taller, and I don't know about Shouhou, but I'm not sure if they fall in line with the same kind of sizing, but if it's super premium, I have to assume that they are guiding the line very similarly to this, where the figures are probably sized comparable, you know, where they would look good together on a shelf. Whereas the previous figures I talked about, Shimikaze, Akagi, and Kaga, they're smaller pieces. They will be undersized, probably. Like if you have Nagato, you know, Akagi and Kaga might come up to like there on her, because they are smaller pieces. But again, just to look at Nagato in all her beautiful glory. I love the headdress. The you know, details put into these are immaculate. For a $20 import prize figure, where you're spending that much for a Black Series Star Wars figure, and maybe you don't even get any accessories or anything like that, and depending on what figure it is, you know, sometimes the joints can be a little wonky and stuff like that, but Nagato, beautiful, beautiful piece, all kinds of awesome. Again, I love the face, the detail, and as you can see, if you got the artillery and everything, she has the back harness that you would sort of clasp it onto, but it's a separate piece anyway, so it would actually sort of have to be propped up by the base. And I don't know, looking at the base, I'm not going to remove it from its plastic, but I don't know if the base actually has extra holes that would, you know, account for that or not. Or if you get a base that's free of that when you just get the strict figure by itself. But once again, Shouhou Kai, or I should say Shouhou in her Kai form, and again, a beautiful, exquisite piece, beautiful face, looking somewhat concerned, you know. And I've seen some of the, you know, art for the game, and this particular Kai version, the you know, art for the update, it looks like they perfectly matched the design of the figure for that update. She's in that exact pose, she's holding that exact arrow and her bow, looking exactly like this. But again, as though you snapped your fingers, had a genie, and oh, her long, luxurious hair with a bow. But as though you know, snapped your fingers and a genie popped out and made that artistic representation a three-dimensional form, in the form of a statue that is weighty, it has a nice weight to it, it'll look very beautiful on the shelf, if you're a KanColle anime or game fan. And so yeah, I mean, and look at the detail of like the belt strap area, and I mean, just, oh man, amazing, amazing pieces. And so wanted to share that with you guys, my fellow KanColle anime fans. As of the time of this recording, I've gotten a you know, notice from my anime list saying the KanColle film is supposed to be out soon. I don't know if it's debuted in Japan yet. It's certainly not online yet as of the time of this recording. Looking forward to checking it out at some point, and see if it's a retelling at all, if it's a follow-up, a continuation, because I know we're getting a season 2 at some point down the line, I believe in 2017, and so I'm looking all kinds of forward to that. Hopefully going to be back reviewing it. And so yeah, brilliant pieces, beautiful pieces. Wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.